Howdy, folks. What's this? Early June 2024. Here's a new Nautilus. Sounds like this. Okay. I love this guitar. Do I say that every time? Well, I think it's always true. This guitar is made, this is a Nautilus, so my 15-inch comma series instrument, and it's made with a superlative piece of Adirondack spruce on the top and a superlative set of Brazilian rosewood. Quarter sawn, really nice. I mean, it has a couple of little like grain markings in it, but it's pretty much a perfect set. The sides are actually perfect. Like you could, they're amazing. I got these from my teacher and my friend Dave Daly when he retired. I purchased his wood collection, and this set was in there, and they were marked 1979. So he'd been saving these for something special, and so was I. So now it's on this very special guitar. It's Brazilian headstock. This is ebony for the bindings, bridge and fingerboard. These guitars are deceptively simple. Like I try to keep I try to discourage my clients from putting decorations on them. I just feel like the guitar is where it's supposed to be. Certainly cosmetically, and like I haven't counted these. I got to count how many comma series I've made, but I'm getting up there now. And so I've done the same thing. I built a lot. Let's say I've built 50 Nautiluses, and they haven't changed radically because my approach is to change one thing at a time, and really pay attention to what that one thing does. Because what I'm trying to acquire is actual control, or at least have the power of suggestion over the tone of the instrument, so that I'm able to elicit certain qualities by my building techniques. I mean, I think that's everyone's dream, building guitars, and I just don't see another way to do it. I'm not a math guy, so I don't do the mathematical stuff. I have some measurement protocols that I use, and then I use my hands and my eyes and my ears. And I'll tell you, frankly, I've never played a guitar that was constructed using math that I thought was worth the wood it was printed on. So I believe that making guitars is somewhere in between a craft and an art. It's a craft because you have to make an instrument. You can't just have some sort of like impressionistic glob at the end and say, there, I've made my art. So it has to be a tool first and foremost. The guitar, it's so important to me that a guitar be, and this sounds kind of weird, but I want the guitar to be sort of invisible when you're playing it. Like once you get on it and you start playing it and you learn the neck and the feel, then you should stop thinking about the fact that you're playing that particular guitar, and you should be able to allow your musical inspiration to just sort of flow through it. And for me, that is perhaps more important even than the tone of the instrument, is its playability, its friendliness, its cooperativeness. And that means that I've worked so hard on learning setup stuff, details about the little, tiny, fussy, infinitesimal little things that you can do to make a guitar feel just smooth and buttery and never get in your way. This guitar is so playable. It's just so nice. I mean, every note up and down the neck sounds. I don't feel like there are any wolf tones. And, you know, if you want to... I mean, it plays all the way up the neck, all the way to this D. That's actually a pretty nice tone, right? I've always thought, why do you have... You know, you have these 12-fret instruments with all these frets up here. It's like, why do you even have those? You can't get to them. That's why I always put a cutaway on here. So I want this to be like, you know, here's what most guitars seem to sort of be the first 12 frets, maybe the 14, you know, 14 is a common fret. But then up here is sort of no man's land except for the very brave and gifted. And I want to make that be part of the whole instrument, you know. That's the soprano section. That's the piccolos and flutes right there, man. And this should be an orchestra. This Adirondack spruce creates a sound. I've said many times before that spruce, or any species of the common species that we use for building guitar tops, can produce a good example of any species will produce a good guitar. And I will definitely put my stamp on that. That being said, each species has sort of an overarching set of characteristics. And the characteristic that you find in Adirondack is this supersaturated sound and power. And by supersaturated sound, I mean, like I compared it to an amplifier that you've turned up your pre-gain to the point where it's just about to distort, but it's not distorting. It gives that super fat, like every little last crevice in whatever amplitude you're playing at is filled with tone. It's like getting a letter in the mail, and it's a thick letter, you know, someone's written, remember letters? Yeah, well, you get a thin letter, and that's kind of disappointing. And I think a lot of guitars are thin letters. I want mine to be like, have like 8 pages in there. So you open it up, you're like, there's some data in here, man. So this guitar happily does that, in my opinion. It's just got a saturated sound. Like it just... There's no extraneous energy being spent on like little plinky sounds. So many guitars, it always like drove me crazy. All my guitars, before I started building guitars and really learning how to listen to guitars, that they would just have nasty top ends, like the unwired strings on the up here. You get up around the 10th fret and they just start sounding plinky. These guys, this sounds like a jazz guitar to me. You know, it has like a... Like that's real tone, man. That's and sustain. So let me play one more song, and because I'm just bragging, and I embarrass myself by bragging so much, but I'm not bragging about me. I'm bragging about these guitars. Let's see. So I made up this little piece just that has lots of space in it, and just to sort of allow you to hear the decay of the tone, which I think is really special which is one of the things I love about rosewood guitars in general, but especially Brazilian and Cocobolo. And you couple that with a really hard, stiff spruce like this, and you get incredible cathedral-like decay. So listen on your headphones. I mean, it's just this guitar is just a joy to play. So it's going to go off to Daniel. Daniel, thank you so much for being so enthusiastic about this and having so many great ideas. And it was a lot of fun to work with you. And this will be on your lap in a matter of days. So thanks for watching, everybody. I've got a really cool Cocobolo and Sitka Nautilus to show you next, which I'm also super happy with. So take care, and I'll see you next time.